Okay. I'll just give you a WhatsApp number, my WhatsApp number.
Okay, so you will give us your WhatsApp number. So I think advisable you should type it so that we can copy you.
Baba sure. Fara lecture. A zo ki ga suna lecture a waya.
Samun da yawa.
Yau mace ce.
So before you have to add.
Okay, let's find pen so as to write.
Okay, I'll just.
So how to. So then now. Ma, would you say it now or during the lecture you'll give us your WhatsApp number?
Yes, I have already given you. It's there on the WhatsApp chat box, you see.
The number is there. You can look for it now. Look into the in-call messages. You can see the number.
I've seen it.
Okay. You, Mr. Bashir.
And 4 3 8 13 4 4 30. I've copied it.
Is it visible?
No.
Yes. Is it visible?
No. No.
1 sec. See?
Yeah, now it is visible.
Okay, it is visible now. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. So, okay. Should I start?
Well, to me, you can start, but I don't know the rest of the letters.
Yes, we are with
Yes.
you, madam. We are with you.
Should
It
I wait for another
disappeared.
few minutes?
It disappeared.
You can hear me? Is it audible?
We can.
It is
Yeah,
audible.
it is audible, but it's not visible.
Yes,
Presentation
I'll
has
show it
gone.
to you. No, presentation is there very much. Okay.
Okay, I can see it now.
Presentation is.
Now, yeah, we can watch it.
Hmm. 1 sec. 1 minute. I don't know why the video is not working. That's
Okay, you can play the slideshow.
is it properly visible, right?
Yeah.
It is visible.
Yeah, of course.
আমি এবার স্টার্ট করব, কিন্তু ওই কালকেরই মতন ওই ফটোটা আসছে না। আমি জানি না, তার আগে আমি ঠিক করে দেখেছিলাম, কিন্তু জানি না। ঠিক আছে, আমি রাখছি। ঠিক আছে, ওরা সব এসে গেছে। আরে অন্য কম্পিউটারে হচ্ছে না, আমি পরে ফোন করবো তোমায়। ঠিক আছে, ওকে। लॉक कर देना. So I don't understand why this video is not working.
Perhaps something wrong going on with the video. Take it easy.
So say okay, good afternoon. Should I start?
Good afternoon. Yeah, ma, you can start.
Good afternoon. Okay, fine. Good afternoon. So you can just mute your see too much background disturbances there, so you can just mute your audio. Okay, right? Yes, fine. So I'll just say, when you have any issues, you can just raise your hands, or in between I'll just take a 1 or 2 minutes break, so you can ask me the questions. Okay. Um, is it visible? Hello.
It is visible now. It is visible.
Okay, okay, fine. So like yesterday, we this like we talked about tourism phenomena, the tourism, basic. What is the basic idea of tourism? So yesterday we covered Unit 1 and Unit 2. So today's unit will be covering about Unit 3, that includes historical evolution and development. Then Unit 4, that is tourism systems, and Unit 5, that is the tourism constituents. Okay, so when we how the tourism historical evolution and development, how tourism evolved. Okay, so when we wanted to know about tourism, it is very essential. How from where this concept came. Yesterday I told you, but we need to know the history of it is, because history is essential, because the present has evolved out of it, and for better future we have to analyze the past carefully, very carefully. So when we talk about past, there were, as in my previous yesterday slide, there were different views, different views by different authors. For the last, I mean, over the years, they have expressed different views on tourism. But yes, we all understand that tourism is all about, going to your place and coming back to your own destination. And of course, it is not something for, it can be for any religious purpose, it can be a cultural purpose, but not for any business purposes and all. Okay, suppose as I told you, you wanted to go to Mauritius and you start your own business, so you won't be called a tourist. Okay, so these are the different methods we'll be studying today, like why the need for history of tourism is required. Now, history of tourism helps us to understand a dynamic model of tourism development. It helps in developing the theoretical framework within which the data on tourism can be verified. So careful analysis of history of tourism helps in two things are very important: identification of sources of data and use of both written and oral history. When we when we wanted to know what is tourism all about, we have to go to the past. So from the past, we we could see that there are a lot of datas are there. So those datas, we have two types of data. One is the primary data and the other is the secondary data. Primary data is basically, and then I collect directly from the interviewing something. Those are known as the primary data. But secondary data means, those which we have collected through newspapers, journals, magazines, and so on. So, this history of tourism, we got the sources of data that was basically through, I mean, secondary data. So there are various sources, some like, literary records, some were the inscriptions, and some were graffiti, some were papyrus receipts, then there were seals, then there were archaeological evidence, including painted pottery, then there were some diplomatic records of different countries, then we do have archives, then the oral history and folk culture, both traditional and personal. Now, if I ask you, like, you may ask me what is graffiti. Graffiti is basically, some paintings on any walls or any other surfaces. From where you come to know how, this was the culture, this was the, different types of sports, different types of sports that was used by this particular civilization. So through graffiti, we also got to know so many things. Similarly, there was something called papyrus receipts. Papyrus receipts is basically, those time when trade was there. Those are the receipts which basically you can say invoices. Tax invoices. Suppose you have worked for some companies and all, used to get a receipt for their your salary and all. So those are like papyrus receipts. So these are some of the data from where we got to know about history. Okay, about the, so that's how tourism came into, how the tourism was evolved. There were some statistical records at the same time also. So, understanding the importance of tourism is an economic multiplier. Tourism statistics came into existence in year 1914. Now, you may be having a question, what is a multiplier effect in tourism? Basically, multiplier effect means, how many times the money is being spent by a tourism is circulated in a country's economy. That is what is multiplier effect in tourism. Maybe in the later classes we'll go more in depth about that. So just for your information, I wanted to say the multiplier effect in tourism is how many times that the money is spent by a tourist that is being circulated in the country's economy. Now, prior to 1920, database for travel was constructed from railway records in postal authorities as well as from passport and visa authorities to reconstruct the volume of people who travel. Okay, then identify the time of the year they travel and find the places they visited. So, in today's technological world, you just need to go to any website. If I wanted to know how many visitors were there from Morocco, in India, suppose, or how many visitors were there in Morocco, then I can easily find out. You go to Google search, you go to search engine, you'll get all informations from which country they visited the most, which year they visited the most. So all informations are there. But that time there was no technology, so we have to whatever information we got, that has to we have to find out what was the volume of people who travel basically from the passports and find out the places they visited. So everything was written, but it was not I mean not technologies, I mean technology was not there, only through scripts and all those journals, scripts. Then you have books and all which were maintained, diaries were maintained from those information. Now, first, Britain began to collect tourism statistics. Britain was the first country which started to collect tourism statistics in the year 1921. And by 1945, all countries started collecting data. Okay. So, as like yesterday I discussed with you all, there were a lot of definitions of tourism, given by different. But however, the data which were collected, so far were of high standard, And there is something called reliability. So sometimes, the reliability is often questioned. Are you sure? Are you reliable? Is the data reliable? So yes, we got those informations. Thus, from those sources, the definition of tourism had come. Now, as I told you, whatever data we got so far, those were all secondary sources. Okay, there were some personal documents like diaries, journals, then newspapers were there, then advertisements were there, guidebooks were there, magazines were there. So all these resources help in designing itineraries, identifying important events, and understanding the holiday patterns. Now, when we come about the history of tourism, it's a very long one. It's a very long process. See, that time we may not be having, high-speed trains or, aircrafts or luxurious cruise lines and all. But yes, people always had the desire to travel, had the desire to be tourists. So that time, one thing was there, people used to travel by ships. Okay, so maritime was very much in. It was. You can say that it was. People were more into business. They were more into trade. So they used to visit different countries through this maritime. Okay, that means through ships. So you can, but in today's scenario, you can say key tourism can be largely attributed to technological developments, especially in the transport, because no, now more roads are being built. The people can always drive. For driving, roads are also very well, constructed and all. So the more airports are being open, then there are more cruise lines are there, more places were there, more places have come. So anyway, once we go to the history of tourism, it has been divided into the six classes. One is the ancient era, one is the imperial era, one is the pilgrimage, one is the grand tour era, one is the transition era, and the other is the modern era. As we already discussed, there are some what is the motivators why you would like to go to a tourist destination. So for motivation, you just get motivated for a holiday. So these are the few concepts which were very important why people travel. One was the motivation, another was a holiday to the different destinations. Then the mode of travel is also accessible. If I wanted to go to, suppose to Singapore, or into, any country in Ghana, so I can easily go to the website. I can go to any online travel agents. I can find the destinations. Everything was possible, but that time it was not possible. But people always had that intention, had that motive to travel. That was always were there. So sometimes, it is not like that someone with lot of money is more likely to travel for a holiday than someone who doesn't have much money. For example, if I have money, I can travel to lot of places. But suppose I don't have money, I can always, there is a virtual, I can go for a virtual show. Then I can see the places. Some videos are there, so I feel like I'm at that place. It's like that. So, but of course, with the help of technology, everything has been become very easy. Okay. Now, coming to periodization, I'll come to what are the different travels, like as I discussed here, like what are the six periods that will come one by one. But yes, before that, we just wanted to know that curiosity was also there, moving from the known to unknown. Then anticipation was there. Anticipate means you don't know, but yes, you thought of going to a hill station. You anticipated, I stay at a very place which is very hot, having a warm climate, but during the summer season, I wanted to go to a hill station. So sometimes you always have some hope. You wanted to see, you wanted to do, you wanted to look for something, and ultimately you evaluate every new experience. So that was very essential. Now, as when we talk about sources, like the country which comes in our mind first is Europe. Countries, the continent Europe. There were countries like France, there were countries like Germany. So these were the countries. They were, they for them, holidaying was very expensive. And in fact, they were rich people, so they had that urge to travel. So that was one thing. Always Europe was a Europeans, they were more eager to travel. Now, so then comes a mode of travel. It was the state of the art in terms of transport networks and routes were there, vehicles were there, cost of travel, then documentation. It involved documentation. You wanted to go. If I wanted to go to any place of my country, I may not be requiring passport or visa. But tomorrow, if I wanted to go to Mauritius or I want to get to Seychelles, I can. I need to have a passport. I need to have the visa documents. So these are all slowly it was coming by. Now tourism impacts. There is always a positive impact and there is always a negative impact. So the influence of tourism, it's not only on the lifestyle of the people, but in bringing about changes in the consumption and production as well as wealth. Now, when we talk about the ancient period, difficult was the journey because roads were not smooth. There were jungles. Then wayside facilities made the journeys very costly. Tomorrow on the way, you might find some shops where you can do some purchasing. You can, if you wanted to have something, you can find a motels. You know what are motels? The hotels which are located on the highway roads. If you wanted to go if you wanted to go to from one destination to another destination, maybe another 100 kilometers. Okay, so that time there were no motels and all, but slowly this concept of motels came. Initially it was in, I mean, just they were providing the minimum accommodation. Then came the hotels, then came the motels, flotels. So motels are basically located on the highways. Suppose you are going for a journey, you can just take a break. There's usually there's space for keeping parking space for the vehicles, and usually the tourists used to take 2 to 3 hours a break. Have some money, food and all. Then they used to again start their journey. But during the ancient period, that was not available. Even if it was available, it was very costly. Plus, there were no specific paths and routes that were developed and used by traders and pilgrims. So slowly, development of specialized vehicles for travel over land and on water came. There slowly came. There were only ships were there, but slowly the rail came, the airlines came, the maritime system was already there. So ships were there. So growth, slowly the growth of urban centers and cities along river banks and coastline in Mesopotamia, China and India, they evolved. Now travel followed networks. As I told you, resting places like motels and food resources were provided along these routes. Commercial centers came into existence. Commercial centers means, suppose you wanted to buy some a particular handloom or some handicraft of that particular area, or you wanted to buy some, wanted to go to some food outlets or something. So all those commercial centers came into existence, and the scope of travel to distant parts of the world increased. As frequency of travel increased, wagons for goods and chariots for the passengers were also introduced. Paths and routes were developed, and trees were also planted for shade. So, thus, more travel resulted in knowledge of wealth at distant places. Hope 1 minute. Huh? Hope you all are able to understand. Am I am I going too fast, or is it okay with you all? Kabiru, Basir, is it okay?
It is okay, ma'am.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
is
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Okay, okay. And the PPT is visible, na? The PPT is visible properly?
No, 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 it's not
Okay,
visible.
okay. No, no, no. Now it is visible. Now it is visible.
Yes, it is visible.
Yes.
Okay, okay, fine. So then came the early empires, Egyptian civilization and Phoenician. So what do you mean by Egypt? Egyptian civilization attracted many tourists. Lighthouses of Alexandria was considered one of the seven wonders of the ancient world. Now the question may arise, what are Phoenicians? Phoenicians are another type of civilization, and they were basically well known for their trades. They were the one who were the shipbuilders, so they were very active in sailing. So they are the one who were known as Phoenicians. Okay. So slowly, Egyptian civilization and Phoenician civilization, they came into. They only started. So both men and women started enjoying traveling to various places, and once they arrived at the destination, there was a celebrity feast, often with a sacrifice for Thanksgiving. In some countries, all this Thanksgiving ceremony is being celebrated in a very bigger way. Okay, so tourist season, every country has their tourist season. Usually, we at a plain land, we always feel like going to see the mountains. So we wanted to visit at the summer season because there you feel very cool. You experience the snow-clad mountains and all. So tourists usually that period was like tourist season is from April to November, and people travel long distances to see glorious moments of Egypt and return with souvenirs to show to friends at home. As I told you, suppose if I asked you how was your travel, so you can just only tell me, that it was, the holiday. We just enjoyed the holiday, but at the same time, you cannot. It's an intangible product. But souvenir is a tangible product because you can show it to your friends. That this is the place I travel. As I in my previous life, the commercial areas, on the to the the commercial centers were located at the destination plus on the way to the destination, so where you could also find the souvenirs of that particular places, which were in the form of books or in the form of mm, uh, uh, you can in the form of seals, then you can form of artifacts and all. Okay, so you can show it to your friends, this is the place where I visited. Because that time, we didn't have we didn't have tech savvy cameras, so we can just take a photo, make a reel and post it at Instagram. So that was no, so we can just show a souvenir to our friend, this is the place where we visited. So these Phoenicians, as I told you, they were very considered a large group of traders, and they were very skilled in making. They were very skilled in making ships and all. So they explored, extended the boundaries. They also developed overland facilities and trunk routes for travels. So money was used as a form of exchange, which helped them easy travel, as food and services were purchased instead of carrying them always. Then came the Persian Empire. The Persian Empire expanded over a large area. They improved their travel infrastructure. So roads were designed, carrier wagons where you can take, maybe basically carrier wagons were useful for some industrial purposes and all. Okay, you want to carry some bricks, or you want to carry some other, something for construction, and also carrier wagons were used for all those, with four wheel with cover over it, and they were designed for comfortable trust. The method for comfortable travel was introduced. Then there were the Greeks, maritime expertise of Greeks helped in developing tourism. So the Greeks also had a great role, you know, like how to develop tourism. So the currency exchange system enabled exchange outside Greek states was introduced, and Greek became the common language in the Mediterranean. But there were, festivals were hosted, like we have this Olympic games. The first Olympic game was, I think, held in Greek, so in Greece. So festivals were hosted to attract travelers, and Olympic games held to display creative athletic skills in the honor of god Zeus. They were scholars, they were philosophers, they were physicians, and men of science who visited Greece to learn and expand their skills. Now, Athens in Greece, it became a very famous destination. Hospitality facilities were provided, and there were a lot of entertainments, shows for the visitors. There were guide services. Travel trips were also provided to the travelers. So, what we could see so far, we could analyze. Earlier, just they just developed a route, but slowly going to a destination, you need a route, and many things had to be facilitated to reach that particular destination. You need a vehicle. Even if you have a vehicle, the road should be smooth. Okay, when you reach the destination, hotels has to be there, food outlets has to be there, commercial centers has to be there. So slowly that designing process was going on. And obviously when this designing process were going on, people started visiting, the destination was developing, the community was also, the local community was also, they were also earning for them a source of income, because they got to be employed in particular those hotels, restaurants, commercial areas. They were developing their sites. So this is how tourism developed. So as wealth and prosperity of Roman citizens increased, they took interest in knowing more about the culture of people they brought under their control. There were Greek temples, there were sanctuaries, and works of art became sightseeing spots. So slowly, they made, when we go to Rome, we visit these places. And slowly they designed a package. And these Roman visitors were much attracted to seven wonders of the world. So literary references also attracted certain educated travelers towards Roman Empire. People started writing. What do you mean by literary references? People started writing, so the books were being sold, magazines were being sold, and there were references also. The educationalists, the philosophers, they started referring. This is the place you should visit. This is the time you should visit. So this is how it attracted. Something that attraction has to be there. Why should you go to a particular place? Why should you visit during that period of particular period? That attraction was there. Today you can just give a phone call and say, you visit that place, it's very beautiful. But that time there was no phone or something as such. They used to only go through the books, through the magazines, and they used to get literary reference. Ki, हाँ, this was the person who visited, collected all the informations, took some photos, published it. So that was how literary references also attracted the travelers. But of course, you and me, if we go, we may not be collecting all this, information. Of course, if you all are interested, if someone who wanted to educate people, educated travelers, so they were the one who were doing all these literary references. India, there's a this wonder and wealth of India, of course, has attracted Greek and scholars. There were Chinese scholars also. So India's geographical locations made it as an important part of the world. These are the two important epics, Ramayana, Mahabharata, which revealed about fairs. Then there's also Arthashastra, which reflects the protection and importance given to merchants, then safety for passengers and goods, exchange rates for various metals, and price regulations. Now, for example, we always try to build a healthy relationship with the other country. Why do we build a relationship? It's always an exchange of culture, okay? Exchange of culture, exchange of knowledge. So we come to know each other. So they ensure that their, travelers, they give protection and importance to the merchants. Merchants means who came for the business, who went for the trade and all. So trade over land and on inland waterways was well developed. There were some Buddhist sites, so those were also developed. Monasteries attracted the monk, the merchant, and the layman also. Then horses, elephants, and camels were used as a common mode of transport. Then came the Silk Route. Now, this basically Silk Road is, it is not a particular route as such. It is basically a network of routes that is used by the traders for more than 1500 years. Okay, so somewhere it started in 2000 BC, and this Silk Road, like this trade, I mean, basically you can say it was a network of the routes. This was developed to exchange, silk. Suppose I have good silk, I am going to, have a business with your country. So there was an exchange of silk, there was an exchange of muslin. Muslin is also a type of silk. Then fine glass, then tea, then you have other commodities like spices. Then of course we also exchange ideas and how the production process were some of the main activities facilitated by the silk route. That is the reason why it is known as silk route. Those stages of journey were short and very hard due to climate and topography in terms of wealth, but in terms of wealth, it was more rewarding. See, like there was summer, winter, then rainy season. So these climatic conditions were always there, it's revolving. So sometimes it made the situation difficult to travel. But of course, if you think, since there was exchange of all these commodities, obviously wealth was pouring in, so obviously it was a very rewarding process was going on. Navigation was done by the stars. People used to navigate like North Pole, South Pole, East and West. So navigation was done by the stars in absence of course of stream or river. Revenue was collected from the travelers, and large state provided more facilities and also earned more income from the travelers. So ideas and new techniques cross borders. Why it said cross borders? Because they were going from one country to the another country. So obviously it is not only the techniques, it is not only the commodities, it is not only the exchange of various I mean commodities as such, but it also exchange of ideas, exchange of knowledges, which cross the borders of various countries because of these travelers through this Silk Route. Okay, but however, with fall of empires, setback to trade and commerce was visible, leading to less travel because the empires slowly changed and all. Okay, now something called the complex. Sometimes we know that tourism is a phenomenon. It is simple, it is complex, everything is being involved. Why it's also being known as a complex character? Because due to complexities of motivations, needs, your satisfaction level, tourism emerged as an amalgam of phenomena and practices rather than a single or unique orientation. I mean, there are a lot. Why do you travel? What are the motivators? How you travel? What is the earning? Like everything. Now, suppose, for example, if you go to a destination, okay, that destination is, people are still not aware of that particular destination. But once you visit the destination, there is something called word of mouth, positive word of mouth. So, there's a positive word of mouth. You just share with your peer groups, with your friends, and you tell your friends. So, next visit, you go with your friends. So, slowly you'll come to see, local community is also improving. Their their standard of living is also improving. How? Because they have started setting up shops, small stores. You wanted to buy something from that particular area, maybe that is rich in some organic vegetables. You would like to get some organic vegetables. You would try to get some food from there prepared. So now this is how the destinations are improving. So that is the reason we say tourism is a very complex phenomenon, because lot of practices are there, lot of satisfaction level, motivations are there. As I told you, there were only few types of tourism, but now I'm just telling, this is island, when people, when there can be a tourism called space tourism. Then why not there can be an something called island tourism? Why not beach tourism? Okay, so this is how it happens. People trying to evolve, people trying to do something initiative. Let's develop the place. People will get employment. There will be exchange of not only money, but there will be exchange of culture. There will be exchange of exchange of knowledge, ideas. So that is always going on. So at the same time, if I go for a boat riding, I can go for a boat riding. But yes, if I go to places, some beaches and all, you will find their horse riding, you will get their boat riding, you will get their parasailing. So these are all with intention to return to the place of residence after the travel is completed. This is you should always remember. And destinations are always chosen for a particular attraction. All this we have learned yesterday: business purpose, vocational training, or pleasure related pilgrimage. Pilgrims go to different, people travel to Mecca, for a pilgrimage reason. So this added to our knowledge of geography, culture, as well as traditional beliefs of other societies in the world. There is something called Kumbh Mela in India, which people visit. Usually this Kumbh Mela is being visited. It's not that youngsters, especially people of old, I mean, maybe after 40, 50, they visit that Kumbh Mela. It's a huge Mela in India. I'll show you some videos where you can also experience, you can also learn. Okay. So then, because of that, special itineraries were prepared. Itineraries means, this is the timing. This, like suppose you have 5 days, 5 days for your travel. So these are the places you will be visiting. You have to plan, you have to make a budget, and then you have to implement those. So those itineraries are specially so that you can have a fruitful tour of that particular area. Then came the grand tour. This is very important. Why the grand tour is very important? Because this is the time, usually the Europeans who were very rich, they visited to different countries, and that was mainly for studies and all. They learned some, they acquired knowledge, they acquired, ideas, and that is how the grand tour was specially evolved. So anything, what was the characteristics of, usually those were taken by the European countries because they belong to a wealthy social elite class. Okay. And those were for culture, education, and pleasure. So and of course, why it is known as grand tour? Because people of rich class only undertook such tours. Now, what are the characteristics of grand tour? So it can, like you can, as per the Oxford English Dictionary, it defines grand tour as a tour of the principal cities and places of interest in Europe, formerly said to be an essential part of the education of young men of good birth and fortune. People used to go to Oxford University to study, for example. So they came to know about their culture, and whatever they learned, they tried to disseminate among other societies. They wanted to share with the other societies of the country. So this grand tour was mainly about career, about education, about the culture, about the literary, about the health. Then there were business purposes, economic, and other main motivators. Sometimes we have different exhibitions that is being held, different fairs that are being held, different conclaves are being held. Why these are being held? It is not only these conclaves are being held where different countries participate to share their business. An African country wanted to do some business in India, so they participate on this international conclave on business, on trade. So they think, India has that potential. India can do. India has the area. There are people, who will able to do the business in a proficient manner, in a more professional manner. So they find these are the potential destinations. Okay. So obviously, slowly, these were the main motivators. And tours and length of stay at destinations depends upon seasons, the availability of tourism resources, and it provided this grand tour. This provided a base for emergence of tourism industry, guidebooks, and travel organizing. So tourism slowly and steadily, it became a family affair, and soon it's not only men, women travelers also began to travel. Now transition to modern tourism. How we were talking about ancient, then came the modern tourism, how the transition of modern tourism came. Revolutionary changes in technology. There were a lot of changes in technology. Now I wanted to book a ticket. I did not go to any travel agent. I can just give him a call. I can take his help. I can to negotiate. I want, before, you might have seen, if you wanted to visit a different destination, there are reviews. So you can see those reviews. Reviews are basically those are the basically the feedbacks given by different tourists about that particular destination. So before going to a particular destination, you go through those reviews. This place is good. All the facilities are being available. People are good. They are very helpful. So this is fine enough. So this revolutionary changes took place in technology. Then of course is disposable income is there. So personal income rise due to industrialization. Lot of industries. Tourism is also an industry. Today, why are you studying tourism? Some of you all wanted to become an entrepreneur. You wanted to have your own restaurant. You wanted to have your own hotel. Maybe for the first few years, you'll be working in a restaurant. Then you come up with your own restaurant. You come up with your own bar. You come up with your own. So these are the things. So industry is going on increasing. So the personal income has, it has really moved to a higher level due to industrialization. Then organized tours are being conducted for the inexperienced traveler. Maybe if you are an experienced traveler, you need to, you can, like if you go for SOT, Sita Worldwide Travels, you have Thomas Cook, these are the travel agents you can always go and look for. So they will give you an organized tours. I may not, because now there is every specific person, is being is being taught, is being skilled to be very professional in that particular area. So I can just suggest you, these are the places you can visit. But you can always go to a tour operator or a travel agent who would organize a tour. Sometimes you may say, European, in African countries, I wanted to visit only these places. I wanted to go to Kenya, I wanted to go to Nigeria, or I wanted to go to Uganda. Okay, so these are the places. We may not be knowing those places, but who are the travel agents, who are the tour operators, they will design the tour package. So modern tourism in India. So middle class people, the middle class people and working people undertook travel in huge number due to well established rail networks throughout India, through different countries. I was seeing, in India we have, there's a golden circuit in Rajasthan. Golden circuit, that is, covers Agra, it covers Rajasthan, it covers Delhi. Okay, so that is known as Deccan Express. The crew, it's on train on wheels. So the train is being, it covers three destinations of a country. You have Taj Mahal, that is the one of the, having one of the wonders of the world. You have Delhi, that is the capital city of India. You have Rajasthan, where there are heritage hotels. Heritage hotels means those are the properties, heritage properties. Those were the palaces of kings, but nowadays they have been converted into hotels. So those palaces were built before 1950. So that was the reason they were known as heritage properties. So people, they were traveling by train and they used to feel the experience. The train has been designed in such a manner. They have suite rooms, they have deluxe rooms, they have restaurants, they have bars. In such a, yesterday, just few days ago, I was just seeing a video that was, mainly, that was a video on YouTube, which was known as Desert on Wheels. And that was the African, a train in Africa, some destination, Desert on Wheels. So that train went through different deserts, and they could feel that, because sometimes when you go by flight, you just reach the destination within 4 hours or 5 hours, but you may not feel the natural beauty of that particular place. So this video which I saw, it was desert on wheels. So that was going through all the Sahara desert, and it was covering, and it was beautiful, beautiful. If I have time, then I'll show you that video. Okay, then you'll also have a idea. Like, I know y'all belong to that country, but still, then we all, when we all see together, you might be having some questions, I also may be having some questions. I can always, we can always learn from each other. So then, okay, now coming back to the slide, this is, we also have LTC. Yesterday I told you, leave travel concession. where concession are being given to the students, to youths, encourage people to travel extensively. As I told you, I am associated with an university where I have students from 18 or 19 African countries. They are studying here. They get, country, exchange of students are there, and they are slowly learning our, culture. You won't believe when we have some programs and all, no, where suppose we did have conference year ago, international conference on hospitality and tourism, where different expats from different countries, they also participated. And this South African this African students, they played some kids, then they had their some dance usual form, and they had their, and we really enjoyed, because we know our culture. Okay, we are more or less, we are used to our culture, but everybody wants to know something new, wants to taste something new, wants to experience something new. So this is how, this is what happens. And so similarly, in students are being given concession, they are being sent to different countries to study. Some are being on sponsorship, some are on scholarship, so they get to know about the country also. They also acquire degree. At the same time, there's a healthy relationship is being developed between two countries. It's India and Africa, just for example I'm giving you. So Western comforts were also provided to international travelers at major destinations. ITDC means Indian Tourism Development Corporation. Okay, so plans were made to develop many famous tourist destinations in a better and bigger way. Then there were travel agent association. As I told you, once you become member of different organizations, you get lot of, not only lot of facilities, you also come to know lot of things that are happening everyday life. Suppose you are a student of tourism, so you wanted to get associated with various tourism organizations of the country, not only India, but there are other organizations, which today I'll just talk on that aspect also, on those topics also. So there in India, we also have travel agent associations of India. So if you visit the travel agent, there are lot 100 travel agents. You can pick up any travel and just book your, this is the places I wanted to travel. They will just suggest you, give you suggestions, give you offers, give you discounts, plan your travel, everything. Then you have the Indian Association Tour Operators. They also a major, they also have a major play to role in promoting tourism of our country. So you have the state tourism development. So new markets are there, diverse products are coming up, like you have adventure sports, fairs, festivals, golf. These activities were also encouraged. So tourism education was offered. As I told, you are a tourism student. So tourism education was offered at many education institutes. Like we have IGNO, Indira Gandhi National Open University. It is known as the People's University. Anybody? Just a minute. Just a minute. It is visible. 1 second. 1 minute. 1 second. One sec. Huh. Is it? Yeah, it's fine, no? Is it audible? Yeah. Okay. Fine. One. Huh.
It's audible.
It is
Huh.
audible
Okay.
but
Fine.
not visible. You are not visible,
Huh.
ma'am.
Now. Okay, sometimes there's problem with this video, like I have a antivirus loaded. Sometimes it doesn't allow, so that may be one of the reasons. Okay, so there were major developments in the history of tourism. So records were made, people began to travel in search of adventure and escapism. 14th to 16th centuries, these were like trade routes from 14th to 16th centuries. Trade routes and infrastructure systems were developed throughout the world. 1785 Grand Tour era makes a travel status a symbol for wealthy individuals seeking to experience cultures of the civilized world. Then 18th to 19th centuries, industrial revolution gives rise to technological advances, making travel and trade more efficient and expanding the markets. In 1841, Thomas Cook, organizes the first tour in England. Thomas Cook is a well-renowned person. He was the one who organized the he was organized the travel agent. He's basically a travel agent. He organized this first group tour in England. He organized the first package tours to Europe as well as USA also. Then came the airlines, that is the Wright brothers, that was in 1903. Wright brothers ushered in era of flight with the first successful aircraft flight. In 1919, first scheduled airline passenger flight debuts between London and Paris. And in 1937, Britain's first holiday camp is opened by Billy Butlin in Skegness. Then 1945, World War II ends and ushers in a new era of prosperity. There was in 1978 competition on routes. This is what I have tried to summarize. Okay, competition on routes and fares begins with signing of Airline Deregulation Act. 1983, 77% of British workers had 4 to 5 weeks paid holiday per year. Then 1996, Expedia, that is the online travel agent, is founded as a division of Microsoft. 1 minute. So in 20th to 21st centuries, the TripAdvisor was founded. TripAdvisor is OTAs. What are OTAs? OTAs are basically online travel agents. So 2001, September 11, you might be aware of terrorist attacks in New York, in US, changed the whole scenario, changed the aviation industry forever with new rules and procedures implemented. 2002, the euro is introduced, making travel and trade easier across Europe. In 2007, Airbnb was launched, that is, they're usually taking care of the hotels and all, was launched, sparking demand for the sharing economy in tourism. In 2000, Google provides an online booking service. You have Google Flights to the public. 2020, the global corona halted tourism worldwide as a result of lockdown and broader closures. But again, in 2021-22, there are a lot of people again. I mean, started traveling. The industry slowly, coming up. So that is, this keeps on going and on. Right. This is so. Before I move to the next unit, do you have any questions or as such? Am I going too fast? Do you want to see a video in between, or
Yes.
okay, okay. I'll just show you a
Yeah.
video. Okay, just be there.
Okay.
Hmm. not. I'm not sure exactly. How many of you are there today present? अरे वो आंखें खोल दिया। नॉबो भाई आंखें खोल दिया। ये वीडियो कैसे प्ले होगा? Just tell me. नहीं, you know? नॉबो आंखें खोल दिया तो तुम लॉक कर देना था। How to do?
Which screen is there? Screen there.
Hmm? Any video is coming?
Okay, ma'am, wait.
Any
Determine minimize करो.
minimize करो.
Then मुझे वीडियो रखने.
Can you see?
Yes, you can see it.
See? Soul and
Yes,
fuel.
yes.
Where is this place, man? Please.
এই সত্যা এইটি লক ଅଛି କି ଲକ୍ ଅଛି କି ବାହାରେ ଲକ୍ କରିଦେବ ତ ବାହାରେ ଲକ୍ କରିଦିଅ ଠିକ ଅଛି ଲକ୍ ମାନେ ଏମିତି ଲ୍ୟାଚଟା କଟିବନି ପୁରା ଲକ୍ ଲଗାଇ ଦିଅ ହଁ ଠିକ ଅଛି ସେଟା ନବ ଆସିଥିଲ ହଁ ନବ ଆସିଥିଲ ଠିକ ଅଛି କହିବ କେଉ ନାହିଁ ହଁ ହଁ ଠିକ ଅଛି so were you able to see the video
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we have seen the
did
video.
you like that video
It is
did you like the
very,
video
it is very breathtaking now.
it is
Of course,
this is incredible India. Okay, so tomorrow I'll show you
sure.
another video of Africa. Did you like the video?
Of course, we would like to see the video in Africa, even though we
Yes.
are from Africa.
Okay, just a minute. Now we'll be back to our, So I thought,
Okay,
we are already just take a 2 minutes break. So that was the reason I showed you the video. Huh? Just be there.
okay, no problem. No problem. Thank you.
Acha, now are you able to see this PPT? PPT, can you see? Are you able to see the PPT?
Yes, we can see.
See, just tell me, huh? Is it visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay, okay. ठीक है so so this is about TS unit 4 this is all about tourism system right so we learned about the history of tourism I just summarize how it is like the history evolved and eventually how it grew then again it there were some issues and all so again after the coronavirus the it came to us still but slowly again tourism is again now everybody is moving to different destinations they are trying to exploring places and so on so now we move to the next one that is the tourism system the conceptual approach helps to identify the dynamic elements of tourism so tourism framework okay so two things are very important that is the demand and supply. So demand and supply means, suppose if you go to a destination, and you see lot of tourists are there coming to that particular destination because of its attractions and all. But you have to see the facilities are there. So you have to supply the, whether it's in a form of infrastructure, or whether it is in form of facilities, or it is in the form of tourism products, or whether it is in the form of services, that has to be provided. So this demand and supply has to be balanced, because as per the demand you have to supply. So looking to this all about what is tourism system is all about, and you will try to know about it. So these are like, time, work, leisure, tourism implications. So some of you all go for education, some of you all go for training, some of you all for business purposes. That is the reason why people travel. Some is for leisure, some is for pleasure, then recreation. So these are also required, for the survival of any human being. Survival is, for this survival, you have to have all this tourism implications. Now, people and their environment, there are some issues that emerge with the tourism systems. There are finite resources, both time and money, very important for each and everyone, because time is same for everyone. Okay, you cannot buy time. Okay, that is what. So both time and money determine opportunities and are generally unlimited. Actions, the potential for discretion in the use of time and money exists, and yet obligations act as constraints. Now, facilitations, it is an aid to discretionary action, but within the possibilities offered by travel, journey, components, and support services. Results, how would it result? Both pleasures and utility are desired in all life world situations, including tourism. Beneficiaries, who are the beneficiaries? Both host and guest, as tourism involves participation of both. Here, host means, when you are going to a destination, the local community, the stakeholders, they are the host. They are like hosting that, whatever, you are going, you are buying the products, you are going to different museums located. So, in that way, the revenue is being generated for that particular community, for that particular destination. So there should be involvement for both the host as well as the for the host as well as the guest, as tourism involves participation. Now, we know that the success of destination does not only depend on the richness of the tourism product, but also on the effectiveness of tourism systems, which determines the packaging and the marketing of the products. How you design the products. I showed you a video. That was the video of Incredible India. So, someone had designed that video. Somebody has, he just took the prominent places, beautiful destinations of India, gave a background music and design. And he has to ensure that it should not be a very lengthy one, because people, they lose that interest when it is, if you see a video for 8 to 10 minutes, they lose that video. It should be a very catchy one. It should be something significant one, showing the interest, showing the natural beauty of that places. So that is how it has to be designed. Okay, so the success of any destination does not depend only on the richness of the tourism product, but on the effectiveness of tourism systems, which determines the packaging as well as the marketing of the product. So we have two things in hand. One is the supply and the other is the demand. Supply is the carrying capacity. Right. Okay, fine. Okay, okay. How many of you are there? I just wanted to know. Eight of you are there. Okay.
I'm here as well.
Eight, no? Okay. So yes, 1 minute.
Okay.
So one is the supply and the other is the demand. As I told you, these are two very important components of yield management. Okay, so supply and demand. So supply, what should be the carrying capacity? You have a destination which can carry only the footfall of the tourists can only be maximum up to the 100. If you have a hotel, which is offering, suppose a banquet hall of a hotel, it can only carry 100 persons. It cannot carry 200 persons. A train, there are number of seats. There are number of a flight is having 100 seats. If 100 people wanted to travel, is it possible? It is not possible. They can carry only 100. So similarly, every destination has a carrying capacity. Then you have the resources, you have the technology involved, you have the labor, you have the capital, you have the policies. Then demand has to be there. There should be the freedom to travel, information, prosperity, constraints, distribution channel, transport, security. When you wanted to visit a places, you have to ensure that safety and security is there, transport is there, informations are being properly channelized, and you have the freedom to travel. Whenever you go to a destination, you have to see that proper safety and security is there. So these are the demand from the tourist. Similarly, the tourist destinations, they should supply all this, and the other side demand is from the tourist. This should be there. Then only I'll go to that particular destination. So as you told, pull and push, hosts and guests. Hosts are who the government, the employees, the business, the NGOs, that is non-government organization, the special interest groups, and the presenters. They are the hosts. Guests on the other side are the intermediaries, groups, individuals, and receivers. Now, demand-based system. Policy makers provide more interest in tourism due to complex nature of tourism, and the factors that shape demand for tourism are as follows: leisure time, life cycle stage, increased mobility, work patterns, affluence, women in the workforce, attitudes, increased amenities, trend towards smaller families, increasing urbanization, and migration. Now, to encourage full potential of these factors, destinations should have these facilities. Increase the accessibility by scheduled charter and domestic air service. If there is no flight, everybody cannot. Suppose in a flight you can reach a destination in 2 hours, but if you take by road, it will take you 10 hours. You don't have that much time. You just wanted to go in the morning, attend a meeting, and then come back. So there should be accessibility of airlines and all. Promote the market exchange rate and control inflation. Reorient business, relax visa controls, use technology to counter climate, ensure safe health conditions and control pollution, resolve political disputes to ensure stability so that tourists feel secure. That is very important. Security is very important. Safety and security. Nowadays, few things always tourists look forward to: the safety and security. Okay, there are even tourist police are there who just are being, they take care of all the tourist destinations, so they are known as tourist police. So their responsibility, their duty is to ensure that the tourists are safe. Because suppose if you are from a different country, and if you are happy with that country, you come to a destination, you enjoy the food, you enjoy the beauty, then you go to your friends and you will tell that, you give up, there's a positive word of mouth. But if you're not satisfied, it spoils the image of that particular destination. So you have to ensure that the image of the destination is being protected. Then supply related problems. Tourism mainly depends on its image. Tourist is also a victim of the sophisticated promotion of tourist products. Seven typologies of Valence Smith, who says, who is an explorer? Explorer is something who wants to explore something new, few in number, looking for some discovery and inboundness. Elite, they are the individually created visits to exotic places. You have a charter plane, you have a cruise of your own, so you belong to elite class. Okay, you visit to exotic places. Off-pit, wanting to get away from the crowd. Sometimes you think of, okay, chalo, let's go for a picnic. Just we'll go in the morning and come back in the evening. Unusual, seeking physical danger or isolation. Incipient mass, single or small groups using some shared services. Then you have the mass, that is the community as a whole, or the tourists, together, lot of, population, you can say. So package tour markets, desiring tourist enclaves. Charter, mass travel to destination which are standardized facilities. So you have, as per Eric Cohen typology, this is recreational. Recreational is very much needed to relieve the stress of work. Diversionary, escape from boredom and routine. Experimental, looking for authenticity in other society to experiment with alternate lifestyles. And existential, finding a new spiritual center as a result of a touristic experience. Okay, so the other supply related problems are there, like physical. The decision making depends upon four major motivational categories. One is the physical, one is the cultural, one is the personal status, and other is the prestige. These are some of the renowned authors, who have expressed their views. Like, what do you mean by desire? What you have the information, decision, uh, which destination you need to travel. Then you have to preparations is also required, like ticket booking. You need to have get travel agent vouchers. Travel agent vouchers. Suppose you get the booking done through a travel agent, so you pay to the travel agent, and in place of that you get a travel agent voucher. So next you can go to any hotels from where the booking has been made. So you just exchange the travel agent voucher, and the room will be given to you, because you have already paid the travel agent voucher, and in lieu of that you are being given a room, and here the travel agent gets a commission. Okay. And of course, at the last but not the least, there is the satisfaction and evaluation. So before the trip, during the trip, and after the trip, and likely to influence future decision, whether you will be a repeated visitor. Now, if you like the place, of course you will be a repeated visitor. Okay, repeated tourist. Worldwide expectations fall into the following categories. There are attractions, transportations, accommodation, support services, infrastructure, low cost, safety, security, and stability. So, sometimes what are the tourism impacts? There are positive impacts as well as the negative impacts. Tourism impacts all this time, maximum I was telling about the positive impacts. You also do have tourism impacts. Sometimes mismanagement of tourism often creates negative impacts. Tourism leakages are increasingly, growing. What do you mean by tourism leakage? Tourism leakage means all the money that you spend on a holiday, little ends up in the pockets of the community you visit. For example, you go to a destination. You will try to consume food of that particular area. Means that is what is that signature dish. Okay, but instead of experiencing and taking the getting the feeling of that proper dish of that particular area, you go to some Mexican restaurant, or you go to a Chinese restaurant and eat that type of food. You don't consume the authentic dish of that particular area. So in that way, tourism leakage takes place, because you don't contribute in monetary wise to that community. Because once you contribute something for the community, whether you purchase some goods and services that is being prepared there, or you consume something which is being prepared in the particular area, the community does not in monetary form, they does not achieve anything. So they are doing a business. Okay, so you have to contribute something towards the a community. If you don't contribute, then there's no. So that's what is known as tourism leakage. So you spend on a holiday, you lavishly spend, but you don't enjoy the particular authenticity of that particular destination. And of course, cultural erosion has become normal at all major destinations. In stereotypes, images are created by travel agents which are disliked by local. So tourism professionals and researchers have to keep such implications in account while framing new tourism policies. Okay, so that was about the fourth unit, and constituents of tourism industry and tourism organization. You know, I have already told you what is tourism. It is there are a lot of definitions. You understand that tourism is a socio-economic phenomenon. It accounts for the single largest peaceful movement of people across cultural boundary of the world. Then, is it an industry? Yes, tourism is an industry, because it comprises of a broad range of businesses, broad range of activities. There are a lot of organizations involved that are related to virtually all areas of economy. And the component includes all suppliers of goods and services which the tourists require. So Kaiser and others advocated there is no such thing as tourism industry, as collection of several industries that function separately with various types of links with tourists. These links can be both incidental as well as purposeful. And when we talk about tourism industry, these are accommodation, attraction management. These are all the components of tourism industry. We have accommodation, we have attraction management sites. There are travel agents who are working to flourish the tourism industry. There are tour operators, there are restaurants, there are pubs, there are museums, there are monuments. Then there are manufacturers of handicrafts, souvenirs designed for the visitors, agencies concerned with tourism. Then, so thus tourism is not one single industry, but it is an amalgamation of many industries and allied industries. You should remember, this is very important. Tourism is not one single industry, but it is an amalgamation of many industries and allied industries. It includes aviation, transportation, where transportation, surface, rail and road is there. Water transport is there, hospitality is there, travel consultants are there, theme parks are there, monuments are there, museums are there. Then you get to communication, telecommunication system is there, communication system is there. What is CRS? CRS is basically centralized reservation system. CRS, through CRS you can make reservations in any part of the world, in any hotels and all, whether it is airlines booking or whether it is a hotel booking or whether it is a car rentals or this is a cruise booking. So they work on a software, and this software is known as centralized reservation system. We have another called global distribution system. They also work on different anything on the global scenario, like as I told you, whether it's a hotel booking or whether it is a restaurant, I mean whether it's a cruise booking or whether it's a booking of airline set. Everything you can do through the GDS, global distribution system. They have different softwares, like they work on Amadeus, they work on Galileo. These are different types of softwares that are being used. We will come to all those later on. Okay, so travel facilitators are there, escorts are here. They all come together to form the tourism sector. Okay, so tourism, you should remember, tourism is not one single industry, but it is an amalgamation of many industries and allied industries. So these are the constituents. Basically, you have the primary as well as the secondary. Primary, you have transport, you have accommodation, you have catering, food and entertainment, intermediaries, government departments. Secondary, you have shops and emporiums, you have handicrafts, souvenirs, local taxi or transportation, then communication services, then brokers, then advertisement agencies, publishing industry, artists, performers, musicians. So these are all, catering industry, food and entertainment, then travel agents, government departments, transport. These are all primary, and secondary are all these. Okay, these are all the constituents of secondary constituents of tourism. And United Nations studied on the economic impact of tourism in India and reveals the following other. These are different segments. They are having receipts from the tourism employment. Hotels and restaurant. When you visit a hotel, when you visit a restaurant, they give you a bill, they give you a receipt, whether you make the payment through cash or through credit card and so on. Okay. Then railway transport services, then shopping, food and beverage, then you have textiles, then products, then leather and leather products, trade, other services. Okay, for this, the segments, these are the different segments which have receipts from the tourism employment. Various organizations also play a vital role in developing tourism, and these organizations, what they do, they help in tourism policy formulation, planning, promotion of the particular area, promotion of the destination, promotion of the handicrafts, promotion of the handlooms, promotion of the cultures, all this. Then you have the infrastructure, you have the resort development, protecting the rights of tourists and negotiations. So these organizations exist both at the local level, then on the state level, in the national level, as well as the global levels. So different segments of the industry also have their own organizations. Excuse me, huh? Just give me 2 minutes time. There is international organizations that is UNWTO. This is the World Tourism Organization, and they provide assistance on wide range of tourism issues such as technology transfer, marketing. Then they provide education and training, offers a variety of programs, then develop different programs to promote tourism. Then suppose, for example, cleaning the beaches for tourism, facilitation and liberalization, then marketing and promotion, publications. So you can say they're very responsible. They are concerned about responsible tourism. They are concerned about sustainable tourism, because unless and until the destination is sustained, you cannot visit that. So they are equally as very much concerned that the tourism is a responsible tourism, it's a sustainable tourism, accessible tourism. Okay. Then there is IATA, which is the International Air Transport Associations. This is a large network of industry suppliers which allows airlines to operate safely. Intermediary between airlines and passengers, simplifies air travels. So what are their roles? Setting rates on global routes, agreeable to member airlines, planning of timetables of international flights, standardization and coordination of services. So this is what is, this International Air Transport Association. What are their exact roles are? Their aim is to encourage the development of reliable, regular, and economic air transport for travelers' benefit. They has to ensure that the air travel and study what are the problems existing, come with resolutions, to research the problems and issues related to the industry. So they have website, like if you go through all this, you'll come to know. Then some other international organization is UFTAA, that is the United Federations of Travel Agent Association. You have international forum. You have to protect, the tour operators, agencies. And what is their aim? Their aim is to represent the travel agency industry and travel agents in different forums and negotiates on their behalf. Nowadays lot of exhibitions, fairs are taking place where travel agents, tour operators from different countries are participating. So because there are a lot of travelers who wanted, who are interested for holiday into different countries. So once they visit this fairs and exhibitions, they come to know different travel agents, different offer different rates and all. So their aim is to bring all the travel agents on the same forum. Okay. So individually we are on a platform now. So I am teaching, you are listening. So we are on a platform where we can share the knowledge. So similarly, every organization, different organizations, they come to a platform. Their platform is what? You know, hosting different exhibitions or fairs where, and different travel agents, they open their outlets, and visitors, they come and they inquire, they try to find out, they try to know about different countries, when to travel, how to travel, what are the rates that is being offered, any discounts. So every on the same platform. Then other organizations, there are other organizations like IFTO, that is the International Federation of Tour Operators, represents National Tour Operators Association. Then you have IYHF, International Youth Hostel Federation, that represent the National Youth Hostel Federation. IHA, International Hotel Association, represent the hotel and restaurant industry. IATM, that is the International Association of Tour Managers. And PATA, you have Pacific Asia Travel Association. Now, these are some government organizations of India. We do also have, basically, all organizations, like they usually are involved into policy planning, then they collect related tourism data, then they attend inquiries which is related to tourism, then publicize, not only publicize their country as a destination. We need to publicize, we need to advertise, we need to promote the destination. So they do all this type of initiations, activities, and regulate the different segments of tourism industry. So plus do some promotional activities, providing guide services. Even as I told different destinations, they attend this phase, they try to come out with some signature places of the particular state, particular country, and try to promote those destinations, so there are a lot of inbound tourists to that particular area. So these are some, these are some private organizations of India. We have IOTO. This is Indian Association of Tour Operators. They try to promote national integration, international welfare, and goodwill. Plus, they also assist students by scholarship to pursue higher education. Sometimes what happens, the students are very they are interested in all this tourism organization. So sometimes the organization assists the students, gives them scholarship to pursue higher studying in different countries, so they come to know about those different countries, and they can sell those products to the sell the product as well as the services of that particular country to their own country. Then they conduct seminars, conferences, then you have discussion boards, then meetings, cultural meetings. So they take necessary steps for the development of the tourism throughout the country, and sometimes not only throughout the country, it is also globally. You have to encourage and promote friendly feeling among all the tour operators. Then, of course, you have to ensure that the standards are being maintained in the industry. Then, communicates with other agencies. You have to collaborate. You have to connect. You have to collaborate, so that, and you have to communicate with other agencies for the betterment of the travel and trade. Then you have to get affiliation with some other similar organizations, then produce reports regarding the achievements. So there is also like other few, like Travel Agent Association of India, protect the interest of those engaged in the industry, and you have to maintain and stimulate the growth of travel and tourism industry. And of course, some major activities involve, directing the attention of the controlling authorities for the betterment of the industry. Then we have the Federation of Hotel and Restaurant Association of India. This is FHRI. This is FHRAI. It is known as Federation of Hotel and Restaurant Association of India. So, suppose you own a hotel, you own a restaurant, you own a bar, you can become a member of FHRI. Once you become a member of FHRI, you get lot of discounts. If you visit, suppose if you own a hotel and if you become a owner of FHRI, if you become a member of FHRI, then you are being given a discount. If you are being given a card, like you have ATM card, so similarly you are being offered a FHRI card. So once you have that FHRI card, whichever hotels you go anywhere in the country, they are bound to give you 30% discount on the room rates, as 30% discount on the food, but not on beverages, but not on alcoholic beverages. So basically you can say they unite all the region, north, east, west, south, in a representative national organization. So ultimately it creates a national fraternity. And of course, there are a lot of discussions. You can take decisions that on different questions that are being raised by different organizations associated with the hotel and restaurant industry. And so, you have this website also, you can visit. Promote and market hospitality industry of India, that is their first role. Then coordinate with the Ministry of Tourism for securing suitable incentives for the industry. So that was all about today's class. So now let me, like, you have any questions? See, now the video is not working. Yes, you have any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, tell me.
Okay, we just recently discussed on the impact of tourism. We have the negative and
Yes, Kabiru, you go ahead. Konami, you can just
Okay.
wait. Let Kabiru first comes with the question. Yes, please go ahead. Hmm.
You just discussed
Kabiru, please.
about the impact of tourism. We may have a negative and
Yes,
a positive impact in the tourism industry. And
yes,
I am
right.
having an issue here in my country, which is the
Hmm.
of so of currency. Can I negative impact of tourism or something like?
Disha, see, there are positive impacts as well as negative impacts. If you are happy with if you are satisfied, if you travel to a destination, if you are satisfied, then it is always a word of mouth positivity. You can be a repeat visitor. But negativity, tourism leakage, destruction of the places. So these are all negative impacts are there. Sometimes suppose there are a lot of websites, they are showing this place is very beautiful, but when you visit that place you may not find those activities, or you may not find those infrastructure. So obviously you have a that causes a negative impact. So building an image also takes a time. So tourism has both positive impact on that particular destination, or whether on a particular country, on the particular region. So you have to manage that, because your aim is to how to develop the destination, how to promote the destination so that it is flashes on the global map. Kabiru, am I able to
Yes,
answer
ma'am.
your query? Okay.
Yes, of course. Can I come
Okay.
up with another different question?
Yes, yes, please, please. Hmm.
Okay. My next question here is you discuss on the World Tourism Organization, which is WTO, which is based in
Hmm.
Spain. So,
Madrid, United
yeah,
World UNWTO, United Nations World Tourism Organization. Yes.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. So, does WTO in Africa?
There's the possibility of.
WTO, are they operating in Africa? In Africa?
It is it's a global. So I mean, you can just go to the website, what is their objectives, what is their motto, what is their aims, everything they are whole for the tourism organization, that is the United Nations agency who is responsible for that. It is not only in Africa, it is in Asia, or it is in Australia, nothing as such. It is working globally, it is operating globally.
Okay. I have another question, if you don't mind.
Yes, yes, please.
I have just read about Airbnb. I mean, Air
Mhm.
Bed and Breakfast.
Yes, yes, bed and breakfast. Mm.
Yeah, Air Bed and Breakfast. Are
Mm.
they an independent industry, or I can say
Yes,
agency in tourism? This thing?
yeah, they are an independent. What happened? Suppose you want to come to India, okay, and you wanted to
Yes.
go to Delhi. So through the website, Airbnb has their own website. You can go to the website, and you want to book a room at Delhi. Delhi is the capital of India. Now, Delhi is a huge city, okay? But maybe you wanted to stay somewhere near the embassy, okay? Okay, you try to understand, you try to analyze, okay? You wanted to stay somewhere near the embassy. So what you do, you have to search through Airbnb that a hotel which is located near the embassy. So they will get all the informations for you. After that, there are range also. You wanted to stay in a hotel which may range from 3,000 to 5,000, or 6,000 to 8,000. As per, it's a very budget class they have. It's not a very luxury properties they are. They are a very budget class. So you are a student, you wanted to study in Africa, you wanted to study in India, and you wanted to stay somewhere near the embassy. So you can go to that website, you can stay there India, and then you can type Delhi, and near the embassy, though they will locate nearby properties, near embassy, and you have to select, and then you can give the booking. And for 2 days or 3 night, I mean 2 nights or 3 days, as well as they'll be providing you room plus breakfast. That is the reason it is known as bed and breakfast. So it is not only that no, I won't have breakfast, but they will charge you for the breakfast. That is the reason it is known as B and B. They will provide you bed and breakfast. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. I get it. I get it.
Okay.
So, my last question, please.
Mhm. Yes, yes.
So, you just discussed, or I can say you discussed about the Silk Road.
Yes, Silk Route, Silk Route.
Yeah,
Yes.
can you please make more explanation on that?
Acha, okay. Wait, wait. I'll just give me 2 minutes
Okay,
time.
ma'am. No problem. No problem.
You wanted to know about the Silk Route, right? One
Yes.
sec. Mm-hmm. I'll just tell about it. I'll just go to the slide, then it would be easier. You know, uh, uh, slow. So when actually how the concept tourism came, I told traveling to a place, from your resident to a different, maybe for leisure or some activities. Okay. So now this earlier, as I told you, slowly we are, you wanted to develop a trade, you wanted to develop a business. So that is how Silk Route evolved. It is not only a particular route. You think when we talk about route, you might be thinking it is a particular route. It is not a particular route. It is a network of route. And what was the use? What is the importance of this route? Because you wanted to do some trade with business. Suppose you belong to Nigeria, you wanted to have business with Uganda, you wanted to have business with Morocco, you wanted to have business with Seychelles, you wanted to have business with Cairo, you want to have business with Mauritius, you wanted to have business with Egypt. So there are different roads were constructed, different routes were developed. Why these routes were developed? These routes were developed so that you can carry on with your business. You have to, it's not only for pleasure, it's all the, you want to have a trade with that particular country. And what was the, it can be exchange of, maybe our country, can produce rice, your country can produce, you know wheat. I'm just giving it, your country can produce spices. So there is an exchange of the commodities. Okay, that can be exchange of linen, that can be exchange of handicrafts, that can be exchange of handlooms. So these main activities which were conducted, that were facilitated by this network of routes. So that is the reason why it is known as Silk Route. Clear? Am I
Thank you very
able
much. I
to?
understood.
Okay.
Of
And
course. Of
okay,
course.
and
Thank you.
okay. So this was, for many years. It was, it went on somewhere around more than 1,000 years. You can see around more than 1,500 years.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
Oh,
I want all of you should 1 minute. All of you, should go through the units. Did you download the units?
yes, I have the unit with me here. I have the manual as well. I have it here. I have the
Okay.
unit.
So you have the units, very good. Of course, you have to sometimes go through the units and you try to relate it to your country. Today, tomorrow I'll be giving some more informations about your country, which is yesterday I shared with you. Today there was not much sharing about your country, but tomorrow I'll come with more information. What's exactly happening in Africa? Usually people were not aware of the deserts. They wanted to visit the deserts, but how did they go? So this travel agents came. Thomas Cook was the one who initiated all this. He is the first one
Okay.
who initiated if slowly they were developing those areas. They were very, you should always know, I just wanted to share, there are three destinations. Suppose in Africa there are tourist destinations which are already developed. So they are developed countries. Then there are some developing countries like Mauritius, Seychelles. Maximum contribution, their one sec. Huh. Maximum, revenue is being generated from the tourism industry. Okay, so they are known as developing countries. But at the same time, there are also some countries which are not yet developed, underdeveloped. So there are developed countries like Egypt, Morocco, those are developed countries. There are developing countries like Mauritius, Seychelles. Okay, then there are underdeveloped countries which are yet to develop, but they haven't developed. So you have to, you should go in a broader sense. So what I was telling you, you just download the units, you go through the units, then you'll have a broader idea. Then whenever you have a question or query, you can just share it on this platform. I have shared my WhatsApp number, that's my calling number as well as a WhatsApp number. If you want some any informations, or any, as you told about Airbnb, whether UNWTO is there. The UNWTO is for all the countries. It is not for Africa, not for India. It is global, United Nations World Tourism Organization. They ensure that the tourism, they promote tourism. Okay. So whenever you have any queries or you wanted to know further about that particular area, you can just WhatsApp me, and I'll try my best to assist you. Okay. And because at the same time, I also wanted to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you,
Kabir, you
ma'am.
are from which place? Kabiru, you
I'm
are
from
from which place? Nigeria.
I'm from Nigeria.
Nigeria, right? Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
So Kabiru is there, Hamza is there, Basir is there, Muhammad Wakili is there, Awal Konami, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So all of you all are from different places, right? Uh,
Yes, I don't
Muhammad,
know, but
okay. So Sagir, you are from which place? Okay, you have to unmute. You are muted. Caesar, Muhammad, I wanted to know, the places you belong to. So I can do a little bit of exploration on that particular areas. You can also share your views. I can ask you questions, because this platform is not only I'll be teaching, we'll be sharing informations about, whatever we know. Okay. Konami, you are from which country? Unmute. You have to unmute. I cannot hear you. Unmute. See?
Oh, sorry.
Ha ha.
I'm also
Ha
from
ha.
Nigeria, in Kano City.
Okay, you are from Nigeria. Kabiru is from Nigeria. Konami is from Nigeria. Okay.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. That's okay. That was really interesting. And what about the other participants? About the other learners? They are from which uh, country? So,
I think all
yeah,
of
I'm
you
from
them are
now.
from
Nigeria.
Nigeria, ma'am. By name,
No, not
Hamza.
all.
there's Hamza,
Most
Sagir.
of us. Most of us are from Nigeria.
Hamza, you are also from Nigeria?
Yes, ma.
Oh, three are from
I'm from
Nigeria.
Nigeria too, man.
Oh my God,
I'm
four.
from Nigeria.
Kabiru, from Kabiru, Hamza, Ahmed, and Konami. So tomorrow, you should tell something about Nigeria. Yes, Wakili, you are from Wakili. You have to unmute. You have to unmute. See on the below. Yes, Caesar. Yes,
From
unmute. Yes,
Uganda.
unmute yourself.
From
That you have to operate. Yes, yes, Caesar.
from,
Tell me.
from Uganda.
Oh, Caesar, you are from Uganda. Next time I'll
Yes.
just write, who is from it. Just a minute. Caesar is from Uganda. Kabiru, then Konami, Kabiru, Konami, and who else? Waki. Waki is also from Nigeria, right? Okay, these are from Nigeria. And who else is from Nigeria? I have Konami, Wakil, Kabiru are from
I'm from
Nigeria.
Nigeria,
Caesar,
Mama.
you are from
I'm from
Nigeria.
Nigeria too.
Musa. Okay, okay, you are
Yes,
very
from
good.
Nigeria,
So
Kano
four
State.
of you all are from Nigeria. Okay, really nice, nice. That's really wonderful. Okay, so tomorrow I'm planning to. Today you could see that video, no? So anyway, tomorrow also I'll try to get a video of so that you have an essence, the beauty of that particular. You can feel, you can see, you cannot feel, you can see the essence, of the beauty of that particular destination. Okay, so I hope we all got to know something, and tomorrow we'll have a small discussions before we start the class, and then we can go ahead with the units. Okay, so total there are 35 units. I mean, there are total 9 blocks you all are aware of. There are total 9 blocks, and each block has some units. Okay, so 35 units, like yesterday I took about unit 1 and 2. Today's was 3, 4, 5. Tomorrow maybe 6, 7. I'll be taking in this manner. And whatever questions you do have, please write it and let me know, or we can discuss on this forum. Okay, so it's really nice to see all of you. Have a good day and enjoy learning. So, okay, take care. Okay,
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. It was
thank
really
you.
great and
Thank you.
nice. Thank you.
Okay, and I
See you
hope
tomorrow.
you all could understand what I am saying.
Ah,
Okay,
of course, I could understand.
okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you
Ah,
so much.
see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me take a photo. Okay, I just wanted to, if you all are there, um, one sec, 1 minute. Huh? Kabiru, look here. Okay, thank you so
Here
much.
you
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hello, Muhammad. What is this? Hello, Muhammad.
So we will meet tomorrow. Uh-huh.